So here we go again. I feel I need to clarify, a day after watching Napoleon, some of the reasons why I think it's a very good film. Why are there so many bad reviews, especially on YouTube? It's annoying. So I'm just going to clear it up once and for all. So I'd already heard a lot about the film, mostly bad, before I went to see it at the IMAX theatre in Waterloo, and that was a bit annoying. But I went anyway, trying to go with an open mind. But I gotta say, guess what? I came out as a massive fan. And I know a lot of people might think I am very wrong, but here's why. Look, chaps, this is not Gladiator, because it's a different story. Gladiator is 20 years old, and the story is a massive part of why it's so popular. This is a different and much more complex story. So once we can let that settle in, we can move on to the next point. Napoleon's story is far too large to tell in one movie, so do not expect a 720-degree angle of his life. You won't get it. More books have been written about him than anyone in history, bar Jesus or Hitler. My next point has to address the relationship, which does take centre stage of the film. And I've heard many people say this is a problem. Why is this a problem? Josephine, Vanessa Kirby, is excellent and plays the role in a not-so-obvious way. She was a huge influence on Napoleon. It's well documented that her name was the last name he whispered before he died. He loved her deeply, which is clear. So why do people have a problem that she takes some central role? A question could be raised as to who was he fighting for? He had an overwhelming passion for France, and that's not well explained in this film. To do this, Scott would have had to include flashbacks, which he certainly didn't want to do. The movie picks up in his mid-30s, it seems, when he is already going up the ranks. So I'll let Ridley do his thing. Trust me, he's probably thought about all these things you're mentioning, but he's deliberately made these choices, whether you like it or not. So Josephine's relationship is valid. We do see 3 vital battles that do show him as an excellent tactician, despite what people say. We also see him, on the flip side, as a more colourful character, which is sometimes extremely eccentric, but he can also handle and enjoy the company of the men around him, and sometimes even demand their respect. There's many layers going on here in Joaquin's performance. I think you have to take his stature and greatness as a given. Then the film starts to make a lot more sense. At the root of this film, and I might get hate mail for saying this, is an incredibly interesting portrait by Joaquin Phoenix. It's a brilliant performance. He's in almost every scene, and he subtly twists and turns from humour to inner pain, to childlike states, to menacing and strength and power. It's very subtle, and I don't think people are realising it. Bradley Cooper with Maestro will probably beat him at the Oscars, but that's only because Joaquin has already won an Oscar, and they will probably want to give it to Bradley purely for that reason. So I like this film, clearly. There are some obvious cons. I think some of the actors weren't as strong, the ones that were non-central. I think that it was a little bit all over the place. But at the same time, you've got to remember this is a film and it's been directed and it's there to entertain more than inform. If you want to be informed, read the books. You do not get the whole sense of the man. Sure, I get that. But nor should you. A film is a film, not a university lecture, and there are plenty of books out there, so go and read them if you want to know more. I want you to watch this film with an open mind, not to dissect every single thing about colour grade to the fact that it's all over the place and all these things, and look at what's happening in the scenes in front of you. Ridley Scott is at a ripe old age and he's still putting his back into films like this, and I think we should be thankful. I've got no personal attachment to the guy. I look at a film like that and I think, look at all the rubbish that is around. This is a great movie. I do not understand the bashers bashing it. I think it's because they really want to go and do a degree in Napoleon studies. And feel free, I'm sure there's many universities that offer it. This is a film.